Howdy y'all, this is Diego. I'm going to be recording my little tutorial video for y'all. Yay! This is going to be the basics of Nuke and compositing. Just going to kind of show you guys how to interact with the UI, how things run, and the basics of Nuke really quickly. You have your viewport at the top left. The bottom left, you're going to have all of your nodes and where all of your editing is going to be. And to the right, you have your outliner. When you double click a node, it'll pop up in the outliner and you'll be able to edit your nodes that way. What you first want to do whenever you start a new file in Nuke is first you're going to want to import your sequences. As you can see, I've already started on the shot, so I'm just going to begin like a new kind of compositing setup right over here. To import things in Nuke, you're actually going to want to add a read node, so you could do that two ways. You want to click tab, that's how you add any node, or you could just press R, that is a little shortcut there, so you could add the tab, type in read, select that, or just press R. Whenever you're going to import, you want to keep selecting the file and the folder. Something that you want to do is you also want to click on the frame range as well and import that frame range. If not, it'll pop up a little error message, so remember, just keep in mind anytime you want to import something, you don't just select the folder, you also select the frame range. So here now we have all three of our lighting passes. Anytime you want to view any node in Nuke, you just want to select the node and press a number key just to set that. Set each of these 1, 2, and 3, and you could just toggle between them. Now these are the nodes I'm going to be using within this tutorial video. So first we have the merge node, then we have the grade node, then we have the color correct node, and now we have the Cryptomatte. So these are the main four that I'm using within our compositing, and it's good when you're learning any program just to learn things little by little, get to know one node and then get to know how you use two, and the more comfortable you are with those, that's when you start branching off and learning more and more. Now, step one, after putting in all of your render passes, you want to combine your passes. So as you can see right here, I'm going to start combining our indirect light and our direct lighting using the merge node. And really quickly, just to tidy up your nodes, you're going to want to hold either command or control, whether you're on Mac or Windows, and you're gonna click these little yellow star icons, and that'll just help you organize your things so that they're not just branching off in different directions. You always want to keep your nodes tidy when you're working with them, because each node is kind of going to flow into another, and if they're overlapping, it's going to get really confusing really fast. And so now whenever you're using this merge node, you're going to want to go to this setting over here, and you're going to want to change this from over to plus. Plus is going to let you combine these nodes instead of just placing them on top of each other. Moving on to our grade node, it's very similar to if you've graded anything in Photoshop or Lightroom. A lot of the attributes are the exact same. And so right here, I'm going to put this grade node to affect only the direct pass. I'm just kind of editing how much of each pass I want to bring into the merge node, how much I want to keep, how much I want to change, and just changing the way they combine because I don't want them to be graded uniformly. I hope that makes sense. And there we can see the differences between the direct, indirect, and the merge. So now over here, we are going to have our Cryptomatte. Cryptomatte nodes are really fun. They have to be set up within the render passes themselves. I'm sure there are tutorials on that. I, unfortunately, am not a rendering artist. I'm only a compositing artist. Cryptomattes are useful when you want a way to separate all of the objects. Imagine just a giant rotoscope on everything. As you can see, once you view the Cryptomatte node, each object is separated into its own color. So in order to select an object, what you want to do is you want to first view the Cryptomatte, and then to the right over here you see this little picker add and picker remove. So right now, as you can see, the picker add is selected, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold command or control and select the object that you want this Cryptomatte to affect. And if you ever want to remove it, you change it to picker remove, command or control, select the color. As you see, any shape or color selected is going to turn yellow, and everything else, once you remove it, it'll return to its normal color. And yeah, so now we're going to add a grade and a color correct node. What you want to do is you want to look at these triangles on the side, pull that out. As you can see, this is a mask. So like I said, a lot of this, if you're really familiar with photo editing, Nuke is very, very similar to Photoshop. So pretty much this grade is only going to affect the mask, which is the Cryptomatte. You're going to do it for both the grade and the color correct. And once you do that, you'll connect it to the rest of the nodes. Now, if we mess with the color correct node, it's only going to affect what's inside of the Cryptomatte and inside of that mask. And then that pretty much sums up the technical aspects of this tutorial. What I kind of want to get into now is really when you're compositing, there's no rule of this is what you have to do. This is how much light should be in a scene. This is, there's no real standard. Everything is really shot by shot, and it's based off of what you want to accomplish with each shot. As you see, I want there to be kind of a distinct foreground, middle ground, and background. We want to keep the stage, so to speak, very light. So the foreground, which is the knife block, block, the ground, and the mousetrap. We want to keep that very bright, very much the focal point, and the goal is to have those background objects of the pots and the books further back. So really your next step in compositing and just how much you should edit things, it's all to do with what you want this shot to be about. Okay, so you're done compositing. Let's say this is exactly where you want it to be. Now what? How do I export? So just like importing, export is also its own node. This node is called write. So it's actually really funny, right? The import is read, export is write. I think it's hilarious. I don't know. So you're gonna go tab write. I don't know the shortcut for this one, I'm sorry, but you'll maybe it's W. I don't know. Anyways, so you're gonna write, and then you're gonna view this node. What you want to do next is you want to go to File. Up to the right side, you're gonna have this little folder. You'll click that. And so now you're gonna go into your files. You're gonna choose the output. Now, what makes Nuke interesting is after you choose the output where you want these files to go, you're gonna name your file. Just like Maya, you'll name your file. So I'll call this one Shot1 Tutorial. And next you're gonna add pound signs. Similar to rendering out in Maya, these pound signs are gonna indicate how many numbers are gonna be in each shot. Right, so let's say if you have 100 shots, it's going to label them 001, 002, all the way to 100. If you don't have enough of these hashtags, file sequences will get messed up. Does that make sense? And you always want to have enough to where things don't get mixed up in the export. So I put 4. So you're going to have your shot name, pound signs, dot, whatever file you want to export as. After that, you'll just press render. It's going to ask you how many frames you want to render. It's going to automatically show your frame range. And for the most part, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this tutorial came out so late in the semester. I hope you guys and your projects are going very well. Can't wait to watch them. Bye.